Hello bibliophiles and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay tuned in on my weekly uploads. I really appreciate all the support I got on my last video, or my first video I should say, and it's uplifting to know that people want to watch my content. So, the book I'll be talking about in this video is a little bit different from the book I talked about in my first video. If you haven't seen my first video, the link will be in the description below. I'm sure you saw the title and thumbnail of this video, and the book I'll be talking about today is Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. Now, I had the honor of meeting this author last weekend at the last stop of her summer book tour with Becky Albertalli. Jennifer Dugan published Hot Dog Girl at the end of April this year, so it's a fairly recent publication. It was really nice to be able to meet the author, and it was also interesting to know that it took her a full 7 years to complete writing and getting this book published. But on to the book. So, Hot Dog Girl is about Eloise, a girl who is determined to have the best summer of her life before her senior year of high school. The book starts with Lou finding out that she will be the dancing hot dog at her amusement park for the second year in a row. And this doesn't get her down, but she does realize that her dream of having a perfect summer may be crushed when she learns at the first staff meeting that the amusement park will be closing at the end of the summer season. On top of the amusement park closing, Lou is hoping for the chance to get with her longtime crush, Nick, who is the diving pirate at the amusement park, despite him having the perfect girlfriend who also happens to be the park's princess. She develops an elaborate plan and drags her best friend Celie in onto the scheme. Now, without going any farther into the plot of the book, I'm going to give my best review, as I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't gotten the chance to read it yet. Going into the book, I was a little bit skeptical from the title, which threw me off, but I found out that I quite enjoyed the book. Before filming this video, I decided to head on over to Goodreads, which is a website where you can find book reviews, comment on books, and give ratings for books if you didn't know what Goodreads was already. And I was surprised to find that this book got, I think, about 3.4 out of 5 stars, and there were a lot of negative comments about the book. Among other bits of bad feedback that I read on the website, I saw people thought it was tacky, that it was poorly written, and that the characters were badly developed, or that the characters were annoying. Personally, I found it to be quite well written, and I enjoyed the story, despite the ending being a little bit predictable. Maybe that's because I read so much, or I wanted it to end that way. I can understand why people thought that some of Lou's actions might have been questionable, but one needs to keep in mind that she is a teenage girl, and I think that's one of the good things that this book portrays. I can understand why some people may have thought that some of Lou's actions were questionable, as she did say that she would do anything to get with Nick, which does sound a little bit creepy when you think about it, but I feel that that is how many young teenagers would act in a situation like this. Rather than finding her annoying, I find her to be more of an accurate representation of how teenagers would act, and as Jennifer Dugan put it, she is a messy girl, and the YA genre does need more messy girl characters. Typically what one sees in the YA genre is that the male characters have more of an allowance for being rash or acting without thinking, while the female characters aren't usually allowed to do this. Moving on from that, some of the things in the books that were intended probably to be twists and turns I didn't find to be that unpredictable, but I think that this is actually what the author wanted it to be like. As I said in my last video, I tend to read a little bit too much into certain books, so maybe I'm overanalyzing it, or maybe that's actually how Jennifer Dugan wanted it to be. I feel that if this is how she wanted it to be, it would add quite a bit to Lou's character. Continuing to look at the book through my strange interpretation, I do get the feeling that the author intended the book to be written this way, so that the reader can see that as a character, Lou isn't perfect. By knowing things that Lou doesn't know, we as a reader may be screaming at the book, telling her to act differently or do something different, but the way Lou is written, she is blinded by her emotions, and that's how real life is, and I feel like that's the message the author was trying to get across. I will be going more in depth about my feelings on some of Lou's actions and how I think they were meant to be interpreted in a video that should be uploaded a couple days after this one. I will be making it into a video series called To Be Continued, in which I talk about some of the spoilers in the book for people who have read the book or people who aren't interested in reading the book and just want to know how it ends. But if you do take anything from this video, I would hope that you'd be encouraged to read this book, as I enjoyed it and I think a lot of you would too. I would not listen to many of the bad reviews because sometimes bad reviews can be biased for personal reasons and it could prevent you from reading a book that could become your next favorite. If you have a book you'd like me to do a review on, please leave a comment down below and I will definitely try to add it to my list. And if you have any tips or tricks on how I could do better in my videos, if I should speak louder, if I should do more interesting things, feel free to leave a comment like that as well, because anything helps. Also, if you missed my first video, the link, as I said before, will be in the description of the video, and I hope that you enjoyed my review of this book. So that is the end of my book review on Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. I would give it a strong 4 out of 5 stars, maybe 4.3 stars, but that's getting a little bit too technical. So if you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay tuned in on when I get my next video up. It will be going more in depth into Hot Dog Girl, probably will be shorter than my average video, and as always, your next adventure awaits. Bye!